What's up, guys? I hope you're well. Today we're checking out 10 rubbish ways to end a F1 career. Wow, I can think of many myself. Let's get into it, shall we?
Very few drivers get to do a Nico Rosberg and walk away from Formula 1 at the top of the mountain. Even fewer get to do so completely on their own terms.
Well, that's good.
But some F1 exits are worse than others, so here are Autosport's 10 worst ways to leave Formula 1.
Get banned?
Number 10, David Coulthard. This one is slightly harsh, as there was nothing wrong with the way DC went about bowing out of F1. He says he was mentally ready for retirement and announced at the 2008 British Grand Prix that he would stop at the end of the season.
Aww.
The only reason Coulthard sneaks onto our list is for the way his final race ended. Sporting a one-off livery supporting the Wings for Life charity and running a trial version of helmet cam that hasn't been seen in F1 properly since,
Wow.
Coulthard's final race lasted 2 corners before he was caught up in a tangle and eliminated at the Brazilian Grand Prix.
That sucks.
It wasn't a fitting exit for a career that spanned 15 seasons.
Damn.
Number 9, Alan Jones. Following a one-off return for Arrows in 1983, Jones was tempted into a full-time comeback with the Haas team, that's the original Haas team, of the mid-1980s. Jones is pretty honest about why he took the role, saying it was more money in the bank, and he admits that he wasn't too fussed if things didn't turn out well. After a handful of races at the end of 1985 to get up to speed, none of which Jones finished, the following year didn't go much better. Jones only finished 4 of the 16 races, twice picking up points late in the season.
Damn.
By the time the team collapsed at the end of 86, Jones was fed up with the management anyway, and when a few half-hearted attempts to revive F1's first Haas team failed, the 1981 world champion was done with F1 for good.
The spy music in the
Number 8,
background.
Jarno Trulli.
Love it.
When Toyota pulled out of F1 in 2009, veteran Trulli sought refuge at the new Lotus team, which went on to become Caterham. But after 2 years of toiling around at the back of the grid, the one-time Grand Prix winner was dropped on the eve of the 2012 season for Vitaly Petrov, as Caterham boss Tony Fernandez tried to shore up his team's finances. Pre-season testing was already underway by this point, so Trulli's last outing as an F1 driver came when he propped up the times on the final day of the first test at Jerez. Number 7, Emerson Fittipaldi. Emerson Fittipaldi burst onto the F1 scene with Lotus in 1970, and by 1975 he was a 2-time world champion with 14 race wins to his name.
Look at those chops.
He then made the surprising decision to join the team set up by his brother Wilson, and in the 5 years that followed he claimed just 2 podium finishes and never finished higher than 10th in the championship.
Oh, that sucks.
After speculation about his future, he finally confirmed his retirement from F1 on the eve of the 1981 season, citing family reasons, while he retained a management role with the team. Fortunately, 3 years later he took up IndyCar racing, enjoying a glittering spell of more than a decade that included a championship and 2 Indy 500 victories.
Nice.
Number 6, Jenson Button. When Jenson Button made way for Stoffel Vandoorne at McLaren at the end of 2016, he was very careful not to call it a retirement and remained contracted to the team as reserve driver. In the end, that just meant he never got a proper send-off in a way that Felipe Massa has now had twice. By the time the final race of 2016 came around, Button said he was treating it like his final race, but he claimed he wanted to keep his options open in case he wanted to return in 2018. In 2017, he was called up to stand in for Fernando Alonso at the Monaco Grand Prix so the Spaniard could make his debut in the Indy 500. Button shone with 9th place in qualifying, but an inevitable Honda-related grid penalty dropped him to the back of the field, so he started from the pits and then spent his F1 swan song stuck behind Pascal Wehrlein's Sauber. Eventually, Button made a clumsy move that pitched Wehrlein onto his side and into the barriers, ending an ultimately forgettable last F1 appearance for the 2009 world champion.
That sucks.
Number 5, Jody Scheckter. Scheckter certainly left F1 on his own terms, announcing halfway through his title defence in 1980 that he would quit at the end of the season.
That's the right way to do it.
Makes
Halfway
because
through
of how
the season, let
disastrous
the
his
team
final
find a new
season was as
driver,
reigning world
get them
champion.
ready to go.
The writing was on the wall for Ferrari, even as it was celebrating its 1979 title success, with the ground effect revolution taking hold and other teams coming to the fore. Hindered by its flat 12 engine layout, by 1980 Ferrari simply couldn't keep up, leaving Scheckter and Gilles Villeneuve struggling to score points a year after finishing first and second in the championship. But while Villeneuve battled on, dragging the 312 T5 to results it didn't deserve, Scheckter lacked the motivation and he admitted that he'd lost his passion for F1 now he'd achieved his goal of becoming world champion.
Damn.
He denied that his bad season had anything to do with the decision and left F1 with 2 points to his name, setting a record for the worst full-season title defence that still stands today.
Wow. Ain't no one gonna beat that.
Number 4, Carlos Reutemann. Reutemann tried to walk away from F1 after his baffling failure in the 1981 title decider, but Frank Williams persuaded him to stay for 82 to lead the team now Alan Jones was out of the picture.
Nice.
But after 2 races of that season, Reutemann retired for good, telling Williams he didn't have his heart in it any longer. He said he wasn't driving well, had no motivation and didn't like the high grip ground effect cars, so he left Williams scrambling for an in-season replacement to partner Keke Rosberg, who went on to win that year's championship.
Poor Williams, man. I don't know what the hell happened to them. They've gone to hell.
Number 3,
Absolute
Damon
trash.
Hill. Damon Hill enjoyed a career renaissance in 1998, bouncing back from a trying year at Arrows to give Jordan its first victory in a memorable Belgian Grand Prix. Yet when Jordan propelled itself into title contention the following year, Hill was nowhere as Heinz-Harald Frentzen won races and took the fight to McLaren and Ferrari. Hill refers to his 1999 season as a frustrating mystery, saying something deserted him. After getting spooked in the rain at the French Grand Prix, he wanted to make the next race at Silverstone his final F1 appearance, and he liked the idea of signing off where he'd made his debut as a backmarker for Brabham in 1992. But Eddie Jordan held him to his contract, and Hill feared serious financial consequences if he walked away from the deal, so he carried on doing a job he no longer wanted. In his final race at Suzuka, where he'd won the World Championship just 3 years earlier, he ended his F1 career 32 laps early by parking a healthy car, simply stating that he'd had enough and just wanted to walk away in one piece.
Wow.
Number 2, Jacques Villeneuve. Villeneuve could appear on this list twice, and that's why he's so high up our ranking. In 2003, he walked away from BAR before the season finale at Suzuka when he learned that he was being replaced by Takuma Sato for the following season. For a project that was set up with the aim of making Villeneuve a world champion again, it was a sad end to a relationship that never lived up to its confident predictions of success when it launched in 1999. When Renault fired Jarno Trulli during 2004, Villeneuve was called up from the sidelines to partner Fernando Alonso, but he struggled in his 3 races for the team, leading Renault to declare the move a mistake at the end of the season. Fortunately, during that time he signed a deal with Sauber for 2005, but when the team sold up to BMW for the following season, his future was placed into doubt again, and Villeneuve admits his relationship turned sour with some of the team's key engineering figures. 12 races into his second season back, his F1 career finished for good in the Hockenheim barriers, and he was replaced by Robert Kubica. Number 1, Nigel Mansell. Mansell tried to quit F1 at the 1990 British Grand Prix, then fled to IndyCar as F1 World Champion after failing to agree terms with Williams for 1993, returned for 4 races with Williams following Ayrton Senna's death in 1994, but lost out on a full-time drive to David Coulthard for the following season. That resulted in him forming an unlikely alliance with Ron Dennis to race for McLaren, but it was doomed from the beginning.
Yikes.
If it goes as quick as it looks, everybody must watch out, Mansell said at the launch of the 1995 McLaren, but unfortunately it went exactly as fast as it looked. To make matters worse, when Mansell started testing the car in March, it emerged that he couldn't fit in it properly, so he sat out the opening 2 races while McLaren had to build another version to fit his frame. The car was a tight squeeze for Mika Hakkinen too, but the Finn was still able to race it, picking up points first time out in Brazil while Mark Blundell subbed for Mansell. Once the wider version was ready, Mansell returned for 2 disappointing races, finishing 10th at Imola and then claiming the car was undrivable when he retired from the Spanish Grand Prix.
That sucks.
Dennis, who'd never been known as a particular Mansell fan in the past, said that his driver failed to finish that race because he chose not to continue. On the eve of the Monaco Grand Prix, Mansell was out. He'd never raced in F1 again, although he did make a testing return in the winter of 1996 with Jordan. That's our list. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us who we missed or what we've got in the wrong place, and make sure you subscribe to the
Wow. Kind of a sad way, kind of a crappy way to end your career there, don't you think? Let me know in the comments if there's a driver that was left off this list that just had a really rubbish way to end their career. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Stay safe, and don't forget to wash your hands. Bye.